We're rolling. I figured it out. We're rolling. It's got a whole new interface. I had to figure it out. We're rolling.
All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Mike, I know you're doing good. I'm doing good. Our buddy B-Rabs decided to come back and join us, as he does once every couple months or so. Do we want to start with his pain, or do we want to start with?
Yeah, good to be back.
Or do we want to start with the good stuff?
I don't know. Let's start just with the Yankees real quick.
All right.
The Yankees, obviously, they're going to the World Series for the 41st time in franchise history. They're playing the Dodgers. They have played the Dodgers multiple times since 1941. Most of those were against the Brooklyn Dodgers, and now they're facing off against the Dodgers for the first time since 1981, the year I was born, which they lost that year. And that was a strike-shortened year, surprisingly. So we're excited. They won. I know a lot of people are hating on the Yankees, saying they have the easiest road and they have the highest payroll.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that, Mike. I want to respond to that right away. To anybody who says, "Oh, the Yankees had the easiest path," and I've also seen a ton of comments online of people who were like, "They only got in because the Astros weren't there to stop them." Let me fucking tell you something. The Astros were only in the playoffs this year because the team they were chasing blew a 10-game lead. Right. They won a trash division because every other team in that division had a negative run differential. Okay. Yeah. They're not the world beaters that all the people try to make them out to be. They don't have the starting pitching depth. In a 7-game series, the Yankees would have smoked them this year. In fact, they did 7 times during the regular season, and the Yankees won 6 of them. So anybody saying, "Oh, they had an easy path and the Astros could have stopped them," no, they couldn't have. All right. And by the way, they actually didn't have the least difficult path, rather, because if you think about it, the team they played in the ALCS to get in was the 2 seed. So by definition, they had the hardest possible team on their bracket to play in order to get in, and they got in. So I don't want to hear out of anybody.
That's why they play the regular season. They can win. They won their division. The Orioles didn't do it. The Astros didn't win their division. Well, they did win their division.
They did. They won a trash division, and they still did play in the wild card round because their division is trash.
The only team I think the Yankees, look, they were sloppy. They didn't play clean this postseason, so it was still a struggle for them to win, despite them having the best record. So it wasn't as easy as ever. It's not like they just swept both series. But they had to. I would have liked them to play the Astros and Baltimore, and I hope they would have beat them both. Baltimore probably would have given them a hassle. For some reason, the Yankees had a hard time with Baltimore this year.
No, that's the other team number one. Yeah, the other team always says, "Oh, Baltimore and Houston were the teams they did like." Yes, the Baltimore did play the Yankees tough, but you know who they didn't play tough? Every team they played other than the Yankees since June.
Yeah,
So I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that the Yankees would have lost to them. So you know what?
Playoffs.
Exactly. It's not their fault. It's not the Yankees' fault.
Brian has disappeared. He's a spinning wheel of infinity right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
He'll be back eventually.
Wi-Fi. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it out of any fans saying, "Oh, they had the easiest thing." And the other thing people have been saying too, and this really bothers me, is they say, "Oh, well, the Dodgers and the Yankees have the 2 highest payrolls." Right. You know what? I'm going to say this to all you people who are criticizing about that. Where were you in 2018 when the 2 highest payrolls were the Red Sox and the Dodgers, and they were in? I didn't hear a peep out of anybody then. I don't want to hear a peep out of anybody now. Yeah, all right? People are only saying it because it's the Yankees. They're working backwards from their conclusion, which is, "I hate the Yankees. How can I criticize them?" No. You have to throw every high payroll team under the bus if you're going to throw the Yankees under the bus. It's only fair.
Just say you hate the Yankees. I'd rather hear that.
And I'm fine with that. Go ahead. We welcome your hate, but don't make it some weak thing like, "Oh,
you hate the Yankees." If you're not a fan, of course, they're the most dominant team in sports history. So of course you're going to hate them. I hate the Patriots because they were winning for so many years.
Which
you're going to hate the teams that win all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And again, fair enough. People, you want to see somebody else win. We always do. Like last year's World Series was Texas versus Arizona, and you know what? Nobody cared. So all these people who were saying, "Oh, we'd like to see somebody else get it." Well, dude, we gave you 2 Southwest teams, one like a mid to high market team, the other one a smaller market team. They were in, and no one cared. So you know what? I just don't want to hear it out of everybody. This year's World Series is going to be so epic. You have the two biggest stars, the two biggest payrolls, of course, the two biggest cities.
Yeah.
This is going to be probably the biggest World Series of, I don't know, the last, 20 years, 30 years?
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge.
And the other part of it with the whole complaining about the payroll and stuff, the Yankees haven't won a World Series in 15 years. They haven't been to the ALCS since what? Well, they played the Astros, and then one other time. What was it? 2000
No, it's 2017, 2019, and 2022. They were in the LCS.
They were. Okay, so
those were arguable World Series teams based on
I'm an idiot.
if you factor out the shenanigans that the Astros did, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, the fact is, cheating or not, they haven't been there in 15 years. So everyone's saying, oh, it's only the highest payroll teams. No, it isn't. And the Yankees are proof that it's not. I read a thing, I forgot how much it was, but they've spent like $2 billion or something to not go to the World Series over the last 15 years. Payroll does not guarantee success.
No. If you look at the World Series winners in the past 15 years, there's been a lot of smaller market teams who've won. There's been a lot of, what is the word? Parity? When there's a lot of just different teams getting in. I mean, there haven't been many multiple back-to-back winning teams since really the Yankees dynasty. I mean, the Astros are always in it. Dodgers are always in it. Yes, the Yankees are always in the playoffs. I'm talking about
and don't forget the Royals. They didn't win it, but they did go twice in a row in 14 and 15.
Well, they won. They beat the Mets, and they lost the year before, and they went back to back. Yeah. So and somebody
baseball has. Oh, sorry. Finish your thought. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say the guy from John Boy, Joe McFly, the big Yankee fan, he was posting something about the which team was it? One of the smaller market teams. The owner is worth more than Steinbrenner by $1 billion. These people don't invest. These owners don't invest in their teams. Yeah. Look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. They make more money when they lose. They don't invest in the team.
Yeah. Well, the guy's name is Nutting, by the way, from the Pittsburgh. And then the
what is it?
I think it's Bob Nutting is the owner of the Pirates. And basically, he realized a number of years ago, hey, if I have a really nice stadium, tourists will come fill the seats in the summertime, even if the team sucks. And he makes more money. And also, they get to collect revenue sharing because they're in smaller markets, kind of like the Oakland A's, or that's a whole other situation. Right. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anybody moaning and complaining, oh, high payrolls. But look, the Dodgers are also proof of that. They've won one World Series since 1988, and it was the COVID year. So some people don't even count that. I do. I think actually that was harder, but that's a whole another different conversation. So all these people criticizing the two biggest teams in payroll, shut up. Just shut up. You're wrong. And if you're going to fucking criticize the Yankees, again, 2018, you got to say it about the Red Sox too. Oh, that's right. You don't want to say it about the Red Sox. You only want to say it about the Yankees. So screw you, everyone. Fucking piss off. I'm so tired of hearing about the Yankees payroll.
The guy's name was Nutting. I just want to confirm Nutting.
Nutting, yes. The guy that owns the Pirates, his name is Nutting. Speaking of a team,
he's nutting everywhere. He's nutting everywhere.
Speaking of a team that did not bust a nut, but indeed got blue balls, let's move over to the Queen side of baseball. Great segue, huh, fellas? B-Rabs, welcome back to the show.
Blue and orange balls over here.
Yeah, one color of each. Tell me about your emotions right now.
Color of each.
Now, can I ask you, Brian, is it more I want to ask you in a certain way. Is this more like, oh man, I'm so excited because my team made it that far? Or is it a letdown because you're like, man, we were so close to making it into the big dance? Like, which one is kind of more the emotion?
It's a weird range of emotions, because the first game of the series, I was like, if we win this, it'll be a miracle. But I just didn't. I'm sorry, I did not expect us to win that series. I was like, I saw when we got blown out like 9-0, and Ohtani was just cracking on us. I was like, oh, we're cooked. We're cooked. And I'm glad Pete Alonso got to win one last home game. Probably his last home game. So I'm just like, you know what? I think this team has a future. I think we have good ownership. I fucking hate the Dodgers so much. I think like how everyone used to hate the Yankees is now how I hate the Dodgers, because they're doing the exact same thing that the Yankees were villainized when they had Steinbrenner in like the 90s. Like, they're just buying up like all the great talent, and they're just going to become they're going to become the new dynasty that I think everyone's going to want to take down. I think they're going to beat the Yankees. As a Mets fan, it's weird as a Mets fan who hates the Dodgers and then also doesn't want to cheer for the Yankees. It's kind of like a Republican who's voting for Kamala. You know what I mean? Like,
there's quite a few of those. Yeah,
there are. Like, I don't like this, but I just think the other option is much worse.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to get into that actually, because the Mets fans, I think, are going to be a little bit split. But then you also have, I was talking to a buddy yesterday who is a Giants fan. Obviously, he's rooting for the Yankees because San Francisco doesn't like LA.
Right.
And I was thinking of like some of the weird combinations we're going to get of fan rooting in this series. Because let's face it, fellas, this is the World Series of who do you hate less. That really is what it is. Like, you're going to have Boston fans. You're going to have hardcore Celtics beat LA fans rooting for the Dodgers in this series, and I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I see Met fans already rooting for the Dodgers, which is like, really? Wow. Like, I wanted Mets in
last night. The body is Grimace's body is still warm, and you're already rooting for the team that did that.
I know. It's a little bizarre. I wanted Mets in I wanted the Subway Series. So
I did too. We talked about it last week. How awesome that would have been. But
I did. Everyone did. Everyone in New York wanted it, and now I'm just like, I guess I'm a New York nationalist. So like, even though I was raised to see the Yankees as the evil empire, like I still want them to beat the new evil empire, which is the Dodgers. But it is funny, like when you because I feel like a new generation of Mets fans are like, we don't hate the Yankees, and I feel like a new generation of Yankees fans are like, we don't hate the Mets. But when you talk to someone who was like born in the 80s, like a Mets fan who was born in the 80s, he's like, fuck the Yankees, I want the Yankees to get swept. Like a guy that like was there when Koch was mayor and Giuliani was mayor, and like people used to get stabbed all the time on the subway, like regularly, not like what you hear now. Like, New York was like, when you can still get a decent hooker in Times Square, like that part, like that era of New York. You know,
if you can remember, hookers and blow. That you probably remember hating the Yankees.
If you grew up in that, if you grew up if Derek Jeter or Mike Piazza was your favorite player, then you probably despised the other New York team. And I always would, I guess, like argue with like Cousins or something, like good natured ring, but like, I always still looked at it like, especially now post COVID, like everything we've been through, I'm like, New York needs a W, and I don't care if it's from fucking. George Steinbrenner's stupid ass fucking son, or Brian Cashman, who, by the way, when I saw Cashman too get that like title, he looked like so smug because like he had so many haters, and like I feel like he's kind of feeling like he's vindicated right now. You know what I mean? Like I was like, that's a guy who's loving life.
He won't be vindicated until they sign Soto. So I don't care if they win or not.
Oh, that's going to be the big story of the offseason, man. How much are the Giants going to be bidding? How much are the Mets going to be bidding?
Yeah.
You could even see him going to one of the Texas teams. We'll see how much payroll the Braves got open. That's going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll do that in the offseason.
We'll do that in the offseason.
And Brian, you're talking about how this city needs a dub. Dude, this city got a dub last night. The New York Liberty got its first ring. It got its first ring while the Jets were getting smacked around and while the Mets were getting eliminated. The New York Liberty were winning a championship. And I said it last week, Mike. I'll say it again. I feel bad for that team because they won a championship and they weren't even the headline today. That's so insane. It's not fair. It's not.
Yeah. Dude, I think there's so many dudes now that are like active Liberty fans. So like the WNBA is the most popular it's ever been.
Yes.
Like, because I think
Absolutely.
there are dudes that realize like, hey, if I want to get pussy, like I'm not going to shit on women's sports. Like I'm actually going to take it. And then there's other dudes that like legitimately have like daughters, and they're like, I want to bring my daughters to the WNBA and see Sabrina. I always mess up her name. I went to a Liberty game. It was Breanna, I think her name is.
Yeah,
she's
I'm
incredible.
a casual man. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I did watch the second half
and also
of the OT last night.
I did too. Yeah.
It was epic, man. It was
back and forth,
like a movie. They tied it up with 3 seconds left, and then went on to that is.
And they missed some key shots at the end. Yeah, I thought the Lynx almost ran away with it and went to OT, and the Lynx fell apart.
My favorite joke that I saw, and I forget where I saw it, but it was like, lesbians, don't backslide and text your ex just because the Liberty won.
Oh my God.
Don't use this as an opportunity to try to get back with your ex. It's not going to end up good for you, lesbians. But I'm thrilled. It's cool because they're in the Barclays Center and like I just think it's nice to see. It's nice to see a New York team do really good, and I think the Liberty is just going to get more and more. The Liberty as a team is just going to get more and more popular because they're in New York and they're such a big sports team now. Like Jadakiss was at the fucking Liberty game. When the fuck would you ever hear of like a rapper courtside? Like Steph Curry's been at courtside at the Liberty games.
Was there.
So many celebrities have been there. Like it's like the Liberty now have a celebrity row. When have you ever heard of a WNBA team having like a legit celebrity row? Never. So I think that's actually awesome, and I think they have been getting their flowers from all different kinds of sports fans. So that's cool to see.
It's getting better.
Yeah. We mentioned that during the WNBA victory, of course, the New York Jets were also playing.
They were?
Yeah. I mean, barely. They technically they were on the field in uniform. I don't know if you could say they were playing. I don't know if you have. I know you're also a Jets fan. You had a rough night last night, B-Rabs. You did. If you want to talk about the Jets, real fast,
but the Jets are dead to me. I don't give a flying fuck about the Jets. I'm this close to just completely abandoning this team. Like this team sucks, man. I fucking hate this. I fucking hate Woody Johnson. I fucking hate Aaron Rodgers. Saleh wasn't a good coach, but like he had a record of 20 and 36. That's not a good record, but like you thought like firing him in the middle of the season and basically giving him a 2-year Bobby Bonilla deal. We're getting paid like $20,000 an hour for the next 2 years. And you thought like we're magically gonna, look at Devontae Adams, even though our quarterback is a booger-eating piece of shit that will probably blow out his knee or his Achilles any minute. So like he sucks. It's like what made anybody think this year was going to be different when he literally had a season-ending injury 4 snaps in last year? He threw a pick last night. He threw multiple picks against not the Bills, but the fucking whoever we played before the Bills. Like I'm fucking tired of this team. I hate Woody Johnson and I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Let me ask you a question, Brian.
All I care about this fall is the Mets and my fantasy football team. That's the only thing I gave a fuck about. Otherwise, the Jets can fuck off.
All right. Well, let me answer your question, Brian. You said what made anyone think it was going to be different this year? It was because the consensus among football fans and Jets fans was, hey, we got a good defense. We got pretty good tools. We just need a quarterback that isn't named Zach Wilson. Like, that's where the bar was. So we figured, hey, even if Rodgers is fucking 300 years old, as long as he plays average QB, this team is going to be pretty good. And it turns out that was not the case.
Yeah. They're already showing stats. Go ahead.
We need a quarterback that isn't about to get his AARP card. That's what we need.
Right, yeah.
We need a quarterback that's actually like got youth on his side and actually can play and isn't going to break down any minute. And also maybe believes in like traditional medicine and won't try to cure any ailment with fucking ayahuasca or whatever stupid shit he wants to do. That guy sucks.
You
that guy
Daniel
sucks
Jones
so fucking bad. I hate that motherfucker. I don't want Daniel Jones. I don't want Daniel Jones.
I don't want him either.
I think
exactly.
The problem with the Jets is they do things for attention and they do things for and listen, like we have a great the problem is we have great offensive weapons, like we have Breece Hall, we have Braylon Allen, we have Garrett Wilson, now we have fucking Devontae Adams, we have Lazard too, like who should have already had chemistry with Rodgers. I mean, it's the fact that we have a quarterback who is his body is breaking down. It's like Vinny Testaverde, like after he got injured in like that 1999 playoff game, and like he played like shit afterwards too. So it's like, dude, you need a young quarterback, or like at least. I would take fucking Burrow over Rodgers. I don't give a shit. I would take so many other quarterbacks.
I don't think he's available
right now, just because
Brian.
No, he's not. I wish he was. I wish he was for multiple
in many
reasons.
ways.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah,
you know
I would
what?
definitely smash. But
like I said, you could have Daniel Jones if you want him. We're not going to talk about the Giants because they don't deserve to get talked about on the show. Screw them. Let's get into the reactionary part of the show, Mike. We have a bunch of cool vintage ads to go over today. I don't know what order you have them in, so let's do it, girl.
We do real quick. I want to mention tomorrow. Knicks start NBA basketball tomorrow. So here we go. We're going to be talking more about that.
Vintage Knicks ads.
Yeah, I tried to pull one, and I have something we'll show next week. But hopefully, we'll be getting out and going to some games and talking to the fans, and maybe people from other countries like we did last time, which was fun. It got us a lot of views, so we're down for all that. But let's go to the ads. So let's go to.
Wait, don't we have? Speaking of a lot of views, don't we have another video?
We do. Yeah. So we should have brought this up during the Yankee thing. So I noticed this during the interview with Meredith Marakovich in the locker room with Gleyber Torres, and in the background we saw Jazz Chisholm and Tim Hill. Should we just play it and see what happened? Yeah.
I want to mention that Mike's what would be considered a straight edge person, and he's the one that picked up on this, which I think is very funny. So play the clip and we'll talk about this. So look in the background there.
Jazz is doing. He's got something in his hand there. Tim Hill also has a little something.
Yeah, you see that this particular hand sign right here.
Yeah,
this is a very certain grip that you use for a certain type of thing, and which many people know. I'd be lying to people if I said that I didn't know at least a little something about that.
Look at Jazz, right?
Look at him right there.
Chin, little medicinal.
You know a lot about that grip, Phil.
This grip right here. Is that what you're saying?
Little medicinal purposes right there.
Personal experience with that grip.
You need to keep your eye on the ball, so this helps with glaucoma. There's nothing wrong going on here. And then Tim Hill
rip that exhale. There it is. Okay.
And then Tim Hill is like, "Hey, don't take a group photo," because look, he's hiding his arm behind the thing. They're trying to do it behind the plastic. And Tim Hill taps his hand like, hey, put that away. So look, he takes it from him, I think. He's holding a cigar.
He absolutely. Oh, yeah, it's not a cigar, by the way. We put this up on our TikTok last night, and we got a lot of comments on this. And by the way, if you're not following us on all of our socials, you should be. All of our personal accounts and the main account. But anyway, we put this up on TikTok, and a lot of people were trying to say, "Oh, it's a cigar, it's a cigar." And then we had somebody else that went on there and said that they were watching Gleyber Torres's live Instagram, and literally he heard somebody go, "Yo, I want to take a hit from that blunt." So that is not a cigar, kids.
No, look at Tim Hill has a cigar. That's what he was holding too. No, I think he's smoking something, and then is it? You think it's a cigar?
No one holds a cigar like that. Yeah. Okay. No, that's not how it works, kids.
And look, they just had a whole celebration bathed in alcohol, which is 10 times worse. So, for anybody saying, "How could you do that if it's pot?" Come on, it's going to make it run slower.
Which is where this was, and it's legal in New York. Okay.
Well, what did you say about Gleyber Torres all season? He plays like what?
He runs the bases like he's high, so it would all make sense. All right.
So,
Anyway. Let's
don't think it's
that was a lot of fun.
Deal.
Let's move on. We have a lot of cool vintage ads to get on with today. Mike, again, I don't know what order they're in, but let's get into it.
Let's do this one for the Liberty, and we'll take a look at it.
The greatest class of rookies since before.
Man, I'm hungry.
Hungry for new competition?
Whoa.
And hungry for a breakfast with great nutritional value? You need Rookie-O's.
I could have walked to the kitchen myself.
Packed with first-round draft pick flavor. Tasty.
These rookies do look good.
Rookie-O's, part of a vet's complete breakfast. On shelves at your local draft on April 15th. Swish.
I like it.
So that was a vintage commercial for the WNBA draft, is what this is. I like this because what year was this? Do we have a year on this, Mike?
I'm guessing this is from this past year, right?
Is it?
Or before, or maybe the end of last year.
I feel like the editing in this if it makes it look like an old trick commercial from like the 90s. But yeah, it's definitely.
What does it say down here? The little fine print. It said cereal not real should be taken with a grain of cereal. Not a real cereal for entertainment purposes should be taken with a grain of cereal. It's clever writing. I thought this was going to be a Pepto commercial when she grabs her stomach. It was a little gross.
Also, she's watching a commercial in full uniform. She's really getting ready for the season early that way. That's how that goes.
It looks delicious, I guess.
I do like how it's, it was a Kool-Aid Man intro for just the fridge.
Right.
That's also kind of funny right there.
She got a lot of jewelry on if she's in uniform. Only baseball players wear an obnoxious amount of jewelry when they play. Not WNBA. She's from New York, by the way, so that was even a greater thing that they won. We got a nice New Yorker on.
She's from New York. Well, actually, maybe that was just her. They finally raised the salary for WNBA players, so she knocked out the wall to try to get a bigger apartment. Okay, that might have been another move.
So I said, it's a nice apartment, but it's a studio. They should pay her more.
Yeah, well, they should pay them more in general, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. No, I like it. Breanna Stewart, great stuff.
And how come the bowl is already poured in the fridge? There wasn't like a milk with a box.
No.
Like they skipped a step. There's too many continuity errors in this commercial, okay, ESPN? I'm not here for it.
Yeah, it's already prepared. Well, my mom used to give me dry cereal in a little Tupperware bowl, but it was covered, like when I was very young. But this has got like milk in it already.
And not to rip on her, but go back to the fridge. There's nothing in her fridge except for butter. Looks like a bottle of Pellegrino. That might be a bottle. Is that a bottle of Jaeger or some kind of liquor? And milk and a salad and maybe like a Mrs. Butterworth's.
It almost looks like cough syrup or like codeine for a minute. Maybe just because like I was sick and like I was listening to a bunch of Lil Wayne, but like maybe I just have codeine on the mind recently. But it does look like Breanna's making some scissor.
Scissor
of hers.
She's doing some scissoring. That's there it is. There's your WNBA homophobic joke. We had to make at least
maybe
one.
She's scissoring with steroids.
As Mike just cuts out the commercial. We're done. If we were still doing the cancel stamp, that's Phil getting canceled. Whoosh, right across my face.
Every week.
At least once a week we drop something offensive on this show. All right, let's move along. What's the next one, Mike? What do we got?
Let's go to this Don Drysdale, famous legendary Dodgers pitcher from 1968.
All right. Rivalry game. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Baseball. See Robbie's head up for baseball. That's illegal. Slow down. Slow down.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. What? All right. I'll show you.
Drysdale. Where do you think you're going? Drysdale.
Vitalis has no grease and spreads easily through your hair. If we all use Vitalis, we could help put an end to the grease ball.
Okay, Drysdale. Play ball.
Sorry, Herman. Vitalis, liquid or concentrate, has no grease.
Put an end to the grease ball.
So I guess he was accusing him of using a foreign substance. Is that what it is? Of greasing the ball up, and then so he goes in the dugout to show it to him. That's what he was showing everyone. Oh, okay. All right, there we go.
But to put an end to the grease ball? Come on.
That's
a little Italian hate there.
Yeah.
And in 1968, that wasn't a smart thing to do.
Well, you can get away with that in LA, but not Jersey.
No.
So.
Grease ball. Come on, man.
Also, I love how all these old school ads, it's like, you don't know it's an ad. You the first 40 seconds of the commercial is just like game footage.
Yeah. It's got to be a spring training game or something. Yeah. This is like, what is happening? So, like, if this happened in a real game, I guess time was called. I wonder if a player could go into the locker and come out, or is that like
I don't know the rule on that.
It's possible. This is what Max Scherzer sort of did when he got caught with the stuff in his hand. Like, no, it was Vitalis. What are you talking about?
That's really funny. That's really funny.
What is Vitalis?
Just a hair conditioner,
like a hair care product.
Yeah, it's stuff men put in their hair, and it's snake oil essentially, but it's supposed to make your hair slick.
It looked like a bottle of like scotch or like bourbon.
That would have been funny.
I was like, really going back to old school baseball.
Yeah, it wasn't a foreign substance. I was just like taking swigs in the dugout. What's the problem? Like come on.
I wasn't cheating. I'm actually intoxicated, sir. I'm actually very, very drunk, sir. I can't be cheating. I'm breaking every other rule, every other moral code, but I'm not cheating at all.
All right, let's go to a Yankees ad. This one is more recent. Let's check it out.
How does it look?
We got Torre.
Sprain, could be tendonitis. We need this right on. It's just been overworked. Can you give it another try?
Hey, wait a minute.
Writing too many checks lately? The Visa check card can automatically pay some monthly bills on time, like electric, cable, telephone, even your health club.
That's Torre with 2 R's.
The Visa check card can give your check writing arm a break.
I truly believe George Steinbrenner does work out.
I remember this commercial
in his business.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was the first thing I picked up too, Mike. Yeah, he seems like the kind of guy who would, when he was alive, he worked out in a blazer and slacks. Like that checks out fully.
I think that's actually Gene Monahan. They were actual trainer at the time, famous. Now retired Gene Monahan. I don't know who it is. Mel Stoudemire.
Yeah, he was pitching coach for a long time too. Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, this is what we need now for Soto. We got to make sure Hal and Cashman have no injuries. They got their credit card. That's how the Yankees became an empire, with the Visa check card. So they signed everybody.
That's right. Yeah. Those 4 rings were brought to you directly by the Visa check card, Mike.
Visa check card. What are you saying, Brian?
Oh no, you're gonna ask Soto if he takes Cash App. That's what you're gonna ask.
You think Venmo? It's good.
I like that commercial though, because it's classic comedy. It was a misdirection because you think it's gonna be a pitcher, but no.
Yeah,
it's a joke about how much money they spend.
We got a couple more.
I weirdly remember that commercial.
Yeah. We could squeeze all these in. Let's go to this one. This is one requested in the last minute by Phil for Brian. This is an OJ commercial.
Yes.
Coming or going on a business trip, you've got no time to waste. And nobody knows that better than Hertz. Whether it's picking up or dropping off your Ford or other fine car, nobody has more to do it faster.
Go, OJ, go! Getting you out with super speed. Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car. Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
That's right, and brought to you by whatever channel that was right there. Had this uploaded. Thank you to them.
Go ahead.
I just love the unintentional joke of OJ being in a rush. How it hits differently in 2024,
I'd
like to believe this song was playing in the car without driving away.
Really missed an opportunity by missed an opportunity by not like loaning him like a white Bronco to help him escape.
Yeah.
That would have been the perfect product placement if Hertz rented out his getaway car. Hertz, have you murdered your wife and her lover? Well, then get away with our rental services. We will charge no late fees for any blood in the back.
Yeah, that would be very funny if Hertz did a commercial like that.
It hurts. We make it hurt. My God, it's just the history of this guy is insane. Well, he's dead now, so fuck him. Murderer.
They're dead now.
I love the
He's very
kids.
dead
What
now.
are these kids supposed to be? Is that supposed to be like Girl Scouts or something? Like what is the?
I was about to say like just like a bunch of Girl Scouts that are loving O.J. Simpson right now. Like it's so weird watching. I don't think we were old enough to remember him as a beloved human being. But like obviously, like in the 70s and 80s, he was worshipped. He was the most awesome guy ever. I'm trying to. It's like Tom Hanks just like butchered his family like out of nowhere and was like, I didn't do that. Like, you would be like, I don't believe Tom Hanks does anything bad. You know, I don't believe Tom Hanks is a murderer. That was what everyone was going through times 10 with OJ.
Right.
So yeah. Rest in peace, I guess.
When did this commercial come out?
I'll probably get canceled.
This is in the 70s. This was I don't know exactly what year this was, but this is like mid 70s, I think.
I think one of those little girls grew up to be his wife that he murdered. Okay, never mind. Anyway, sorry. Canceled Mike right there.
That would be amazing if that's how he met his wife. Because not the girl herself, but like one of their moms, like a single mom came in, like, oh, I'm gonna get my little girl in this commercial so we can get paid and meet O.J. Simpson. And then O.J. met her, and then happily ever after until 1992 or whatever it was.
94.
94, okay.
Oh my God. We're all going to hell for that. Maybe just me.
We're going to be doing those at least once a month on the show. Get used to it, Mike. There's like 40 more O.J. ads I found. We're not, it's not going away, all right?
Yeah. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
That's right, Brian. That's the spirit.
We got two more. Let's do this one. Basketball starts tomorrow. I couldn't find the next one, but this one was pretty good. Let's watch this.
Some things come easy when you do them over and over. For the hook, it's practice every day. For the over-the-shoulder pass, keep at it. And for fighting cavities, it's Advanced Formula Crest. It's even better than the Crest that I grew up with. So as long as I call the shots, Crest is this family's toothpaste. So take it from the doctor. Or big at checkup time. With Crest, your kids can have even fewer cavities than you did.
It's a little bit of a backwards compliment there.
Yeah, the implication of like, you did good, but your kids can do better.
I like the dunk at the end.
Teeth look like shit, but like your kids can still be saved.
He's got good teeth, I guess. I don't know. It must have improved there. A little koala bear on the couch. How many takes?
Good for Julius Irving, promoting good oral health.
How many takes did this take to get everybody to catch?
Probably not many. I mean, I don't know.
Too hard.
Are those his actual kids? Is he one of those athletes that had like 14 kids, or they just hire a bunch of like young black kids to be his kids in the ad?
I mean, they could have hired kids for the ad. I mean, he's only got 3. That's not.
I feel like it's worse if they hired the kids for the ad, because it's like, hey, we need to help reinforce their stereotype. Like, can we we're not going to have them have one kid. We got to have them have at least 3. Am I right, fellas? And then like the other exec, approved it in the boardroom or whatever when they were writing this ad.
Yeah, this has to be early 80s, late 70s when there was only white people doing these commercials in the room. But they had, I guess, I get a kid per toothpaste because there's like 3 different.
It's a whole line of Crest toothpaste.
He was the first basketball player I ever heard of because I saw him on Sesame Street dunking with Big Bird or something like that. So,
all right.
Shout to Dr. J. he's a legend, you know. We got one last video.
Let's do it.
This one is a classic. I'm surprised we never did this before. Dennis Leary and Bo Jackson.
Hey, no more questions about Bo's hip, okay? No more questions about football, baseball, advertising. Shut up! You thought it was over? Wrong! It ain't over till the hip socket sinks, okay? So Bo's got a bum hip, so what? Look what he's doing with that hip. He's hitting the bike, he's hitting the weights, he's wearing the shoes. As a matter of fact, he's in the pool, wearing the shoes, riding a bike with 120 pounds of weight strapped to his neck, okay? And what are you and your good hip doing right now? Watching commercials! I think you hear me knocking, and I think I'm coming in, and I'm bringing Bo and his big bad hip with me.
How the fuck is Dennis Leary in a Nike commercial? The guy that was like trying to take chain smoking constantly. I'm never taking physical advice at all, or like any sort of athletic fitness advice from fucking Dennis Leary. Yeah. The guy that used to chain smoke constantly. Like, no, that's so ridiculous. I mean, also, whenever I see Dennis Leary, I also kind of get a little pissed off because, like, he apparently stole all of Bill Hicks's. He was apparently a YouTuber.
Oh, yeah.
He stole Bill Hicks's bits. He stole Louis' bits. You know, Rescue Me was a good show. Rescue Me was a good show, but like the idea, just like the idea, like I'm getting stolen by Dennis Murphy. Where who's the athlete too that's with him?
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Yeah, it's Bo Jackson. That's what he said. So like, yeah, exactly. Like, why the fuck are you pairing up Bo Jackson, one of the greatest athletes ever, with Dennis fucking Leary of all
Dennis Leary was huge.
Like, it makes no
era.
sense to me.
That's why. You know, he was huge in this era. And he was because remember, Dennis Leary is big into sports. He's a big Boston sports fan. He talked to one of his bits one time that he wanted to play for the Red Sox. Like he, played sports growing up. So the closest thing he could be to a pro athlete was a one commercial deal with Nike. So I understand he's filling the hole. I get it. I get why he did this ad. Bo Jackson probably already had an endorsement deal with Nike, so they probably just like, all right, well, we're using Bo anyway. And Dennis Leary really wants to be in that.
Between. Oh, sorry.
No, that was it. You go.
I was going to say.
I was just going to say. I think it's just because Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Sorry.
Brian's on the delay. Brian's on the delay, but it's not his internet. I'm just kidding. No, this was post. We watched the Bo Knows commercials, like he references it here, and this is after Bo Jackson hurt his hip. So that's why he's talking about his hip. I'm bringing Bo and his big bad hip with me. So this was like they still had, I guess, Bo under contract. And they put him in these commercials. And Dennis Leary, he did one with Dion. I think he did one with others. And Dennis Leary had that whole, I'm the attitude guy. You know, the leather jacket, chain smoking, I'm tough. You know,
I'm from the Northeast. I'm from Boston. Right. We talk tough.
Yeah. So that's how all this evolved with Bo Jackson. I think this might have been the last Bo Jackson commercial for Nike, as far as I remember. But
didn't he switch over to Nugenics after this, or was that Frank?
No, that's Frank Thomas. I
always mess those two up. I swear, I'm not.
Another canceled today. This is why we don't have black people on the show anymore.
Man, specifically saw 2 clips of the show with me, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't want to talk to that guy."
I got people calling me during the week. It's getting rough. Brian, your thoughts? Full on here.
My thoughts. I mean, like I heard snippets because the Wi-Fi is so bad. I heard snippets. I wish I didn't.
All right. So
I don't want to incriminate myself. No, I think I don't know. I was gonna say though, I guess it's just a take. It's like I know so much about Dennis Leary from a comedian standpoint. Like I know about like I said. He stole like Bill Hicks's persona. He stole jokes from like people like Louis. Also, too, like Greg Giraldo kind of ripped him a new asshole on like Tough Crowd too. I'll always never forget that. Like they were like arguing about the Iraq War, and like basically he was like getting really pissed at Greg Giraldo, and he was Greg Giraldo was smart and funny. So he embarrassed. He embarrassed Dennis Leary. So like it's just I guess to say for me, like I'm just like I just see him and I'm like, but Rescue Me Again was a good show. And that's my hot take.
Yeah, I agree with Brian on that. I do. I think that back in that era, it seemed like a good idea, but in retrospect, there's enough people that just don't respect that guy anymore that it kind of hits a little different. This is, obviously Rich coming from the three guys who just sat here and watched an O.J. Simpson ad. But yeah, it's kind of along the similar. He didn't murder anybody, but it's along the similar length of like, nah, I don't like that guy anymore.
I'm like, OJ is fine, but Dennis Leary, let's have some decency here.
Yeah.
Okay? let's hold a high moral standard here.
Stabbing a white woman, that's one thing, but stealing jokes in the 1980s, there are lines we don't cross, sir.
You don't do that.
Yeah, okay. There's a high bar we hold on this show for what is decent.
Yeah.
Dennis Leary does not fit that bar.
The world of comedy, the morals are so skewed, it doesn't matter anyway.
All right. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
So my closing thoughts are basically, the Mets were amazing this year. Honestly, it's been obviously a crazy year, of course, with just the world. That's been every fucking year. This has been a president year.
Yeah,
the Mets have actually kept me sane. Believe it or not, and they were they were a real morale boost throughout this year. And I'm very proud of this team, even though they really went completely in the flames during the Dodgers. They really were I was they're outmatched. But I'm proud of the Mets. I'm doing well in fantasy, so that's all that counts.
Right.
I literally could not.
That's good.
I couldn't give a shit. I don't give a shit about football. My actual football teams anymore. I've become that jaded and selfish where I'm it's doing great, but I'm not going to get upset about it. I just care about my money. So, fuck Woody Johnson. Fuck James Dolan, and that's my thoughts.
There we go. That's a great place to end. All right, fellas. I'll talk to you guys soon.
See ya.
Peace.